shot and scores!
Nice Shabbat curled and drives and scores!
And the Senators win it.
Five apart, another chance, Matheson scores! Drake Matheson, oh, and got it. Green, Green again, scores!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Now, before we get started, please follow us on Twitter at _, and on Instagram at Sens Talk. Now, tonight, the Ottawa Senators took on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Battle of Ontario. But before we get into tonight's recap, a couple of things. Firstly, use the promo code SensTalk to save $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek.com. As well, we are honored to be sponsored by the premier culture magazine in Ottawa, Faces Magazine. Make sure to check out the new March issue from Faces Magazine today. Magazines are offered for free in grocery stores and select locations across Ottawa. And by the way, this month's issue features a cover interview with number 4, Senators legend Chris Phillips on his new role with the Senators Community Foundation. The March issue also features the likes of Senators star Drake Batherson and Sportsnet's Kyle Bukauskas. Also, don't forget to follow Faces on their social channels for great content, crazy contests, plus more. On Instagram, that's Faces Ottawa, and on Twitter /Facebook, that's Faces OTT. Now tonight, the Sens took on the Toronto Maple Leafs. For the Leafs, Jack Campbell started, and for Ottawa, it's Anton Forsberg making his first career start as an Ottawa Senator. And before we get to the first period portion of today's video, the Senators earlier today put Senators defenseman Christian Wolanin on waivers. As you all know, I'm a huge fan of Christian Wolanin. I'm not a fan of this move. I would be shocked if he was not claimed. I have a good feeling he will be claimed by a team that's seeking a puck-moving defenseman. And this is just another example of poor asset management for Ottawa. I think he still has a lot to offer. He hasn't been great this year, I know, but he still has a lot to offer, and he's still coming off a long-term injury. I think I prefer Wolanin over a Goodbranson, over a Coburn, and over a Josh Brown. So I'm not a fan of this move. Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know if you're a fan of the move or not. But hopefully he's not claimed off waivers, but I have a bad feeling that he will be. Now, the first period of play started off very bad for Ottawa, because Ottawa, got dominated by the Leafs, and it wasn't for Anton Forsberg, who stood on his head in that first period, stopping Matthews too on a couple of beautiful chances. Ottawa would have been down a lot going in the second period, but in fact, Ottawa's up by 1 goal going in the second period of play, because with a minute left in the period, Jack Campbell goes out of his net, turns it over, and Connor Brown streaking right down the middle, puts it home as Campbell tries to fly and stop the puck. He can't. Ottawa leads 1-0 off a lucky goal for Ottawa. So my first period thoughts, Forsberg stood on his head, and if it wasn't for him making some 10-bell stops on the Leafs, Ottawa would have no chance in this game. As well, the Sens frankly got lucky. That Jack Campbell turnover led to a Sens goal when they frankly didn't deserve a goal in that first period of play. In the second period of play, Ottawa played much better. Got a couple nice chances. Jack Campbell was forced to make some big stops, but with 5 minutes left in the period, Ilya Mikheyev deflected a shot off deflected off the post, ricocheted right to Mikheyev. He hit it off his chest and went in. The Leafs tied at 1 apiece. Now, that's after 40 minutes of play. We're tied at 1. Going to the third period, Ottawa's looking good. They looked good in that second period. Hopefully, the positive momentum can transfer to the third period of play. Now, I'm going to get to your questions before we get to that third period portion of today's video. So, the first question comes in from Sens Talk OG and big-time fan Saif Ali Khan. Thank you all for the support, bud. The question is, where does Formenton fit in long-term on this team? I think he fits in as a solid third liner for this team. A defensive guy, a two-way guy, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I think Formenton can chip in between 35 and 45 points in his NHL career per season. I think he can be a solid defensive guy with a lot of speed and offensive upside. And for a third liner, he's a perfect middle six forward. He's a better version of Nick Paul, I guess. They bring different elements to the game, but they're both perfect middle six forwards, if that makes sense. And Formenton has great speed, has some offensive skills, of course, has good finish. I think he had like 50 or 60 points in AHL last year. So 35 to 45 points as a third liner in the NHL is what I expected for Formenton. And I think he can perfectly fill in a second line role if he needed to, but I think a third line role would be just perfect for Formenton when this team is finally contending. Next question comes in from number 1 Drake Batherson fan. They ask, what do you think the Sens need to do to get this power play in order? The power plays right now are unwatchable. I agree. They're disgustingly terrible. So to answer that question very bluntly, you got to move the puck around and you got to get into the zone. And it's very easy to say that. I'm not a power play coach. So what I would do is I would work firstly on, just zone entries. Right now, they're not even getting into the zone. Whenever they get into the zone on the power play, the other team usually just clears it right away. So work on the zone entries and then work on everything else. Because you can't even get into the offensive zone on the power play, you got many issues. As well, another thing, start winning the face-offs on the power play. They keep on losing the face-offs when the power play starts, which gives the opposing team obviously a much better chance of clearing the puck and killing off the power play. So win the faceoffs, work on your zone entries, everything else should come. Next question comes in from Ryan Sevigny. Pardon me if I mispronounced that. He asks, do you feel Pierre Dorion's willingness to offer Murray the extension for the term and annual value might lose him his job? I feel if he was the GM for any other team, it would be under serious consideration, but I feel Melnyk is happy with this guy and doesn't want to go shopping for a new general manager. I don't know if it's about Melnyk or not, but I don't think Matt Murray is a fireable offense. He still has a chance to work it out in Ottawa. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion, and no one expected him to be this bad with Ottawa. So there's still a chance, firstly, that Murray can, respond and continue to play well, and not continue to play well, but to start to play well. But no, it's not a fireable offense. If you want to fire Pierre Dorion, there's many more serious reasons to fire him than Matt Murray's extension. But sure, if Melnyk is considering firing Pierre Dorion, that Murray contract would definitely play a role, but it would not be the deciding role. Now the final question comes in from Jamie. He asks, what Ottawa Senators goalie would you protect and why? 2. And I know you can only protect 1, but I would protect 2. It would be very simple. I would protect Joey Daccord, and Philip Gustafson would be, if I was Pierre Dorion, I would make a trade for Seattle to avoid taking Philip Gustafson. I think both have immense potential. They're both really young. They're both been developed in this organization. It would be a shame to see them both go. So Joey Daccord would be protected. Philip Gustafson would be made not available for Seattle through a trade to protect him in somewhat way, like Florida did, with trading Riley Smith and stuff. They would find a deal to protect him. But yeah, Murray would be the one left, and I don't think they would take him. So yeah, Gustafson, we would make a trade so they don't take him, and Daccord would be protected. That's what I would do. Now, besides that, let's get to the third period of play where Ottawa finds himself tied at 1 apiece, looking to steal another game from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's get to that right now. All right, welcome back. Unfortunately, the Sens lose this one 3-2 in overtime. That overtime period, Ottawa did not deserve the win, but it was a careless turnover that led to the eventual loss or game-winning goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I got mad, Pierre Dorion got mad, but before we discuss how we got to that overtime period, let's talk about that third period of play. So, 11 minutes into that third period, Tom Chabot turns it right over to the Leafs. Jason Spezza takes a shot, deflects off Zaitsev and in. The Leafs take the lead for the first time. It's 2-1 Toronto. Moments later, though, 2 minutes later, Jack Campbell plays the puck. I don't know why he's playing the puck still, but he plays the puck. Formenton ends up with the puck, puts it in the back of the net for a second career National Hockey League goal. First of the season. Congratulations, Forms. Ottawa ties it at 2 apiece. We go to overtime after Ottawa gave up a lot of chances, and Forsberg had to make big stops on those chances. They actually played well in the second half of that third period. In the first half, they didn't even get a shot. They got their first shot like 11 minutes in, I'm pretty sure. But in the second half of that third period, Ottawa played well. In the overtime period, Toronto dominated. And it was eventual game winner for the Leafs ended up being because of Chabot turnover. The Chabot turnover led to the Leafs' second goal and the third goal. Ottawa had a chance for a 2-0 with no one back. Likely would have ended up being in the back of the net for Toronto and given the Sanders a win. Instead, Chabot has all the ice available, but he pinpoints where Matthews is, passes it where Matthews is, who of course intercepts it, makes a beautiful move, but then Hall is there to put it into the back of the net. No chance for Forsberg as the Leafs win it 3-2. As Pierre Dorion chucks his drink, as you can see right here, he loses it. I love it, Pierre Dorion. I love the emotion. He loses it, throws his water or iced coffee, or whatever the hell that was, to the wall, as the Sens loses 3-2. But that loss, by far, was worth it to get that reaction from Pierre Dorion. That makes me love him, to be honest. That was an electric moment from Pierre Dorion, and I just love to see the passion that he has for this team. It's important to, even if you don't agree with the manager, it's important to see that he cares, and he really cares, and he wants to beat the Leafs like us. So, I think that was a cool moment to see, even though we lost. It was still cool to see Pierre Dorion have a little bit of a fan moment himself. Now, the next Sens game, we don't know. We don't know what it is. The Canadiens currently are in the middle of a terrible COVID outbreak. The Sunday game against the Canadiens for Ottawa was cancelled. The Tuesday game, which may be the next game for Ottawa, is up in the air. Unlikely to play, but we shall see. If I don't see you on Tuesday, you'll see a video here on Friday, the Angus Crookshank interview. Exclusive, great interview, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, you know what? Listen, Ottawa, they lost this one 3-2, but they played a good game for some parts. On a back-to-back, it was a gutsy effort, and more importantly, Forsberg played well. And speaking of Forsberg, let's get to the Sens Talk star of the night. What about you, the fan? So, in fourth place with 1% of the vote, Josh Norris. I liked this game tonight. Had a couple of nice chances, a couple of nice moves. He continues to impress for me, and I love to see him continue to develop. Third star, 12% of the vote, Alex Fermenton getting his first goal of the season. He was all over the ice in that third period of play, and I think as you give him more minutes, he will continue to impress. The second star with 25% of the vote is Pierre Dorion. Electric moment, regardless if we won or lost. That's a moment that might be a top 10 moment of the season for Ottawa. So he's second star. First star with 62% of the vote, and the Sens Talk star of the night, voted by you, the fans. It is Anton Forsberg. Well deserved. Anton making 38 stops tonight. Gave the Sens a chance to win on a back-to-back against a lethal team like the Toronto Maple Leafs. And kudos to you, Anton. Your first start in over a year. You got it done for the most part. You couldn't do anything on that third goal, but it's good to see that Ottawa. There was question marks around Gustafsson and Forsberg, and both have answered it so far in positive ways. So moving forward, I'm very comfortable with the tandem, and hopefully they continue to play so well. Besides that, we don't know when the next game is, so I don't know when I'll see you next, but I know for sure you'll see an episode here tomorrow of the Best of 7 podcast with Senators prospect Angus Crookshank. But besides that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. So be sure to like this video, share this video with your circle stuff, and click the big red button down there, and subscribe to us. And most importantly, turn the notification bell on so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. Besides that, thank you for watching. I appreciate the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Sens, go.